So the guys are ready.
Gun is going hot.
They have their .45 caliber gun with its large, slow-moving slug, perfect for this experiment, aimed by a laser at the tip of the match.
Firing in 3.
Surely this won't take long.
1.
Maybe it will.
Not lit, not even gone. Apparently it's too low.
Despite Adam's pleasure at the quality of the high-speed shot,
That is so pretty. It's so crisp, you can see the reflection of the match head in the bullet.
even with laser-guided precision, they completely missed. So they're reverting to a more utilitarian method of marking the bullet's trajectory.
Let's do it.
Cardboard and trial and error.
3, 2, 1.
Plenty of error.
That's crazy high. Well, you shot the head right off.
And plenty of trial.
Oh, it missed it. So close, but it's not touching it. Well, we're a few shots in and we have not gotten a match to light yet, but we're in the thick of it. So close. We knocked most of the red off the match without destroying it, so we're really close. We're trying to get this grazing action without destroying the match head, which we've already done.
Too high. We want to just graze the very tip of it.
I don't know, to get one to light may take another few shots, may take another few hours. What do you think?
I don't see no fire.
No lit match, but a quick look at the high speed confirms they are on target.
Oh, perfect. It's just knocking off a little bit of the white there.
Just barely touched it.
That's what's required.
Could that be myth busted? The bullet grazed the match head, but it didn't kick-start the chain of events that end in a lit match. And to find out exactly what happens when you light a match, here's Jamie.
This is how matches work. In the head of the match, you've got a fuel, which is a sulfur-based product. You've got an oxidizer, which is usually potassium chlorate. And you've got glass powder. It's all held together in a binder on the head of the match. The striker has glass powder, but it also has a small amount of red phosphorus. And when you strike the match on the striker, that glass-on-glass friction generates enough heat to convert the red phosphorus into white phosphorus, which happens to burst into flames when it's exposed to air. Now, in a strike-anywhere match like this one, all those same ingredients are on the head of the match. And so you can strike it on any abrasive surface, the same reaction occurs, generates heat, generates white phosphorus, you've got a lit match.
And back on the range, despite feeling like they've got a busted myth on their hands, the guys lock and load for one last shot.
Firing in 3, 2, 1.
Ah, nice! Punch in.
You asked for it, and we made it happen.
Well, that's fully burnt. We did it.
But keep in mind that it took us 9 tries to make this happen. We had precision equipment, and the accuracy required was down to, a 1,000th of an inch or so.
That's great. That is so cool. Well, I was wrong again. This was fully able to light this when they were only in contact for a 12,000th of a second. It's mighty short, but it's mighty confirmed.
All right, quick hit myths from the fan site. What do we have?
Well, the first one comes from the movie Shrek.
Can doggies talk?
No, that's confirmed.
Can we hear the real one?
Okay, well, in the movie, Shrek uses his own earwax to make a candle.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
I'm interested. Please go on.
Okay, well, first we need to find out if earwax is flammable, and finally we need to collect lots and lots of it.
I always wondered what was in my ears.
You might want to get this checked out.
It's a classic scene from the green screen. Shrek pulls enough wax from his ears to form a fully functional, flammable candle.
What do you got there? A story about very small things?
Yep. We're talking about millions of tiny organisms that you come into contact with every day. but some of them could have a nasty surprise waiting for you and be really harmful.
I got one that fits that bill. I got a chain letter recently that stated a woman had died from a deadly pathogen she contracted drinking from a soda can tainted with rat urine.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, let's get to it.
Okay.
Wherever there are rats, filth follows. But are soda cans really contaminated by rat pee? And if they are, could drinking directly from the can be deadly?
So how do you want to test this?
Well, you know, this myth is so pervasive, we need to get it right. And that means we need to have a nice, large sample size.
Okay, and I think we should start with a positive pee control so that we know what rat urine looks like, we know how to test for it, we know how to know when it's there.
And we need to just get a whole passel of rats, a bunch of cans, and let nature take its course, huh?
Is passel the collective noun for rats?
I don't know.
Well, actually, it's a horde, swarm, rabble, or pack of rats. But before they get started,
But I don't understand. How is it possible that rat pee could kill you? Yes, it's not rat pee itself that could kill you. It's the fact that rat pee could potentially carry both leptospirosis and hantavirus that makes it potentially dangerous. I see.
according to this myth, deadly pathogens transfer from rat through rat urine to soda can, and from there to people. So first, they're starting with a positive control.
Now, normally we certify our tasty, tasty MythBusters Cola as both a life-extending elixir and rat pee free. Until today. Today, 1,000 of these puppies are going to be set up as a rat run to be used as what we like to call a control for exposure to rat pee.
Adam and Jamie will hone their rat pee tracking technique before moving on to test real-world soda cans.
So why go to all this trouble to clean the cans just to have rats pee on them? Well, it's because all we want to find is rat pee, not random dirt or other false positives that may be introduced into our test. So, we scrub every single one. And I gotta say, looking at 1,000 cans, there's a lot of dirt to be cleaned up.
Now that the cans are pristine, let the rodent incontinence begin.
This little guy right here is Rattus norvegicus, otherwise known as the dwarf rat or the sewer rat, the brown rat or the common rat. They're the dominant rat species in the northern hemisphere, and they were held responsible for the Black Plague in the Middle Ages, which killed tens of millions of people. However, technically it was the fleas they carried, not the rats themselves, that caused the plague.
And now it's their urine taking the blame. But is it deadly? The rats aren't shy in helping the guys find out.
Oh, I see some rat urine on a can.
Nice!
This is awesome.
This is one of those sounds that you'll only hear on MythBusters. Sound of 40 rats on 1,000 cans.
And after 90 minutes of the pitter-patter of ratty feet,
The rat party is wrapped.
Let's put them back in their cages.
there's certainly rat pee on those cans. And the first tracking technique? Blacklight.
Did you know that rat pee fluoresces under blacklight? Well, that's the next thing we're gonna do. We're gonna get some blacklights and go take a look for them. I feel like I'm one of those police procedural dramas.
And with plenty of glowing puddles,
It's gotta be urine.
Lights up like a pinball machine. Oh, this one is so gross. Look at that.
the boys are positive that the blacklight is the perfect way to pinpoint the pee.
Well, that's gross. I guess it's time to collect our real-world random samples now.
Well, we better get started. We've got 1,000 cans to collect from all over the city.
1,000. Okay, let's do it.
So what's the story?
Well, I've been thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we were action heroes in our own movie and some bad guys were trying to blow us up, but we managed to escape?
Is that a harp I'm hearing?
Shush, here comes the clip.
It's a climactic cinema cliche. Our heroes are trapped on a boat, and a bomb's about to explode. To escape certain death, they take the plunge. And after a huge kaboom, resurface completely unharmed.
So you're wondering whether diving underwater could help protect you from an injury in the case of an explosion.
Exactly.
Sounds like a blast.
The MythBusters are no strangers to shockwaves, testing if they can cushion a fall,
Wow, here comes the shockwave.
fuse metal, and even make diamonds. But what actually causes one? A shockwave is created when the rapidly expanding gases inside an explosion travel faster than the speed of sound. And it's this shock front that causes a wave of destruction. But can you avoid imminent annihilation by leaping into water? Well, to find out, the MythBusters are hunkering in the bunker for a proof of concept.
So what's this tank all about? Well, Jamie and I wanted to build an experiment that allowed us to see the propagation of a shockwave in water versus air, i.e. in a high impedance fluid as opposed to a low impedance fluid. So, with a little bit of acrylic, a little number 16 acrylic glue, some caulk, and some 1032 button-headed and countersunk screws, I put together this bifurcated tank with the plan to fill this half with water and that half with dry ice fog, or air that we can visualize. We're going to put a firecracker right up here in the center, explode it, and hopefully we'll be able to view that same shockwave in the two different media and see if there's a difference on the high-speed camera.
And for that, Jamie's turned to string theory. These will hang in the water and move if a shockwave hits. With the tanks filled and a firecracker primed, stand by for mayhem in miniature.
Everything's perfect.
Ah, I saw the water move.
Well, let's see how it looked on the high speed.
But a closer look at the high speed reveals not much, actually.
I think we need something bigger than this firecracker.
I think we do. We're going to juice things up a bit. This little firecracker only has a few grains of flash powder in it. If you happen to hold on to this, it'd give you a nasty little burn and make your fingers numb. Officer Smith, I think we need something a little bigger. Can you hook us up?
The M80.
That ought to do it. This thing has a few grams of flash powder in it. If you held on to it, your fingers are going away. It's going to give us enough of a shockwave to do the job.
With shockwaves, apparently size matters. Cue the M80.
Come on, baby. That was loud.
And interestingly, I saw the fog move, but not the water.
Well, let's check it out on high speed. I didn't see much. Did you?
I'm seeing the smoke move around. See that divot there?
Remember, they're looking for proof that a shockwave behaves differently in water to air. But the shockwaves aren't showing up on the close-up. So for a bigger boom, it's back to Officer Smith.
The M1000.
Ah, more?
About 100 times more.
Hopefully that should tie up Jamie's loose threads.
Oh, it's getting close. There it comes. Whoa! I think we're going to have seen something.
I think so. Oh, did that blow the door open? There's water on the ceiling. That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
A good sign, but once again the high-speed replay has the same problem. There's no clear shot of the shockwave.
It's reacting, but they seem to be reacting differently somehow.
Well, they're not telling us what we want to see. I think we're going to have to concoct a different test if we're going to learn whether or not there's a difference between a shockwave in the water and a shockwave in the air.
I think you're right. We're done here.
Okay.
I've seen this footage so many times, it just gets funnier.
Now, apparently they're fainting goats. I mean, this is a news story. But have you ever heard of any animal besides a human fainting?
No, and in fact, some of our fans think that this is just a hoax because this footage is so weird.
Well, you know, there's only one way to find out.
All right, let's go see for ourselves.
So Carrie and Tori hit the road to confirm or confound this possible fraud once and for all.
All right, we're at Renegade Ranch to see these fainting goats. I mean, I haven't seen one fall over yet. So I'm just kind of excited to get in there and try to freak them out and see if we can get them to fall over. I know that seems kind of cruel, But, you know, science could be cruel sometimes.
I have seen this internet clip so many times because it cracks me up. Do goats actually faint?
Well, they do and they don't. They appear to faint, but they don't actually lose consciousness when they fall on the ground. It's a muscle condition called myotonia that affects their leg muscles. So when they get scared, sometimes even excited, their muscles are tightened up in their legs, and sometimes they'll actually fall over.
Yeah, but this still smells like a rural myth, meant to make us city folk look dumber than a fence post. But Tori's halfway convinced.
Apparently, shepherds breed these goats just for that gene, so that way they can put one of these goats into their flock of sheep, so when a real predator shows up, all the sheep take off and the goat is stuck there, paralyzed, so that the predator can eat it and not the sheep. Now, if that's not taking one for the team, I don't know what is. The sad thing is, it's not even his team. I mean, it's the sheep, you know?
Sounds like someone's going soft on these cute little guys. It won't last.
All right, Tori, your first step. What do you want to do?
I think for my first one, I'm just gonna see if I can get one of these goats to faint with no tricks. I mean, I haven't seen one of these fainted yet. Ooh. Oh, you...
It's a shameful start. The first one to faint is one of us. So while Tori regroups, Carrie gives it a whirl.
Okay, I figured something would be very freaky with a lot of flash would be an umbrella. So I'm gonna try to crouch down, wait till they're calm, and then pow.
That kapow sure worked on the virus video, so it should work now. But it doesn't.
They're laughing at us, Carrie. They mock us.
I don't think this is as easy as I thought it was gonna be.
Every failure to faint casts more doubt on this viral video. But Tori needs to prove that he's smarter than the livestock.
I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna lay down in that trough right there. Cover me in hay.
Christina supplies the hay as Tori's wrapped and interred inside a straw sarcophagus.
Let them come up to the hay, eat for a little bit, and then I'll spring out and see if we can get one of these guys to faint.
5 long minutes later, Carrie calls in the strike.
All right, Tori, go now.
Not one?
Not one.
You kidding me?
Dude, that would scare the heck out of me. I can't tell you how frustrating this is.
I mean, they're called fainting goats. We can't make a fainting goat faint. Seriously.
But enough bleating. Let's bring out the big guns.
Oh, these techniques don't seem to be working very well. I thought these goats were supposed to faint like that.
I got an idea. This one's for the boys.
The boys don't know it, but they're about to enjoy their first, probably last, Bucks party.
All right, Carrie, these are the male goats. What's your technique?
You ready?
Yeah.
Tori falls to friendly fire, but once again, Carrie fails to stun or stiffen the target species.
Wasn't ready for that one, Carrie.
It's especially annoying because by now they know the goat video was no fraud. Behind the scenes, they're falling like flies.
You know what's frustrating me the most? Everybody seems to be able to get these goats to fall except Carrie and me. Camera guy walks by a goat, it falls over. The runner, he's making goats fall over. The farmer walks by and they're falling over.
Well, the breed is called the Tennessee fainting goat. So Carrie and Tori give themselves one last shot at the goat version of Operation Shock and Awe.
This is Adam. Can someone get me a car?
This is Jamie. Make it sporty.
Isn't that nice?
That's cute. Drive it on in.
Okay.
This is Spy Car 1. Right now it's a normal car, but when we're finished with it, it's going to have all the little tricks and gadgets that any self-respecting spy car would have. This ought to do.
So it's straight down to business, and the key word right now is deployment. Welcome to Jamie's Chop Shop. All movie fans know that most weapons are launched from the trunk, and a hole in the floor with a sliding trapdoor should fit the bill. Jamie's simple release can be sprung from a cord to the cockpit. It's not fancy.
That ought to do it.
But it works. With the car customized, it's off to the test track to load it with weapons.
We're at the Alameda County Emergency Vehicle Operations Center, which is where the police practice chasing bad guys, which means it's perfect for us.
Of course, there's no chase without a chase car and an experienced daredevil to drive it.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good day for a car chase?
Every day is a good day for a car chase.
What is it that makes Brian uniquely qualified to perform this test with us? I ask you to cast your mind back to Driving in the Rain, where Brian hydroplaned over 100 miles per hour and did a 720-degree turn. Look at the internal camera. That impassive face on him is the face of confidence, and it is the face that will lead this test for us. If we can evade him, we can evade anybody.
Escaping a driver who's more skilled than you means disabling his car. So, what's the first trick in Adam's trunk?
They may look friendly, but these are quarter-inch pieces of hot rolled steel bent at right angles and welded into a tetrahedral arrangement and then sharpened. These are road spikes. Always have one point facing up. I think they're going to be highly effective when I drop them from the back of the evading spy car.
With over 100 of these lethal little tire shredders, you might be right. But Jamie also has a point.
Now, I have no doubt that these tacks are going to stick in the tires, but will they deflate the tires quickly enough to keep our spy happy? I'm not so sure.
Well, first, a quick check on the rules of the chase.
So, Brian, what are the criteria for escaping?
If Adam's able to get far enough ahead of us that he actually loops and gets behind us, then he's gotten away. Also, if he makes a turn on the course someplace that I don't catch, and then we end up taking a different turn or a different route, then I've lost him.
Okay, then.
The cones are lined up to mark out a long and winding road. And they're ready to rumble.
Okay, this is Spy Car Evasion Techniques.
The tacks. Eat my
dust.
Make no mistake, both drivers are hell-bent on surviving the chase. Brian keeps a respectful distance of 5 or 6 car lengths.
Hey, he's picking up a little speed.
Eventually, right before a curve, Adam decides to drop his load.
There we go.
Despite his considerable skill, Brian's going too fast to avoid all the tacks.
Yeah, they stuck in. I can hear them.
But at least for the moment, the chase car shows no signs of losing momentum.
We must have had about a half a dozen at least in there, and we're holding on just fine. I wouldn't take corners too fast in it, but okay, we got you. Bang, 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 bang.
So what happens? Oh, I got you.
Well, you did, but then you didn't. The tacks went into the tires, but we were on your tail for several minutes afterwards. It didn't slow us down.
I thought that as soon as you hit the tacks, you'd be skidding off the road immediately.
I've got flat tires, but you still didn't get away.
No, I didn't get away.
Yeah.
Shoot, I wouldn't have called that.
The tacks eventually worked, but they took their sweet time.
And I'll say one thing else. While I'm fagging it out on this course, hell-bent for leather, it's really disconcerting to look into my rearview mirror and see Brian, like, impassively driving after me. Like it's like a lion playing with his food.
What?
So seriously, we're compiling our all-time favorite MythBuster episodes?
Yep.
I got a few.
Totally. This is going to be awesome.
Well, what are you guys standing around for? Let's get started.
Oh, crap.
So we're all set to launch the Top 25 Countdown. And it's going to be a wild ride full of spectacle, science, and an intriguing insight into the host's personal highlights. Not to mention all those fan favorites you love to see again and again and again.
So where do we begin? What do we got?
In at 25, the first most memorable MythBuster moment is in fact the first ever myth. Yep, way back when Adam looked 16 and Jamie looked like Jamie, our dynamic duo took on the myth of the JATO rocket car. And to test it, they built their own jet-assisted takeoff rockets, attached them to a car,
Yeehaw!
and hit the desert with mayhem in mind.
I'm gonna have to have a grinectomy.
It's funny, after all these years, that our first episode, the JATO rocket car, is still a fan favorite and still actually really a high point for me and Jamie.
Brakes are coming off. We are a go.
Sitting in that chopper watching the rocket car take off.
Okay, we're in line. Okay, coming out of full throttle. I'm coming hot with the electronics.
It was just extraordinary.
Go ahead, set them off. Firing in 3, 2, 1, fire. 3, 2, 1, firing. 3, 2, 1, firing. We got them all.
I mean, the closest example that I can give to it is that it was like watching some sort of African animal take off really quickly across the savannah. Except this was a car with a rocket on it. I mean, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
At a classic Mythbuster moment.
That was hysterical. That was absolutely outrageous.
A hint of the absurd, a dash of engineering, and a side salad of busted urban myth.
Hey! That was beautiful.
From a single soaring moment in the Mojave to a whole lot of locking and loading. Responsibly, of course.
Let's do it.
Guns are a part of our standard stock and trade on this show, and I gotta say, I have some reservations about that because, well, they kill people, and that's to be avoided. But that being said, they're often fascinating, elegantly engineered machines that in our hands, where we use materials and tools in ways for which they were never intended, I call it my little pop gun. Things get real interesting real fast. It's a lot of fun.
You're looking at a vegetarian
Hey, nice shot.
from California.
Let her have it, Carrie.
I never expected that I would be a gun person. Until I joined MythBusters.
Guns and ammo are part of the Mythbuster tradition, but that relationship is built on respect and an ultra-safe environment created by expert armorers and law enforcement officials.
And if you see anything unsafe, please report it to the range master.
But the moment that fires guns and ammo into number 24 is from the viewer-requested mini-myth that it was possible to cut down a tree with a machine gun. And after Tori and Grant failed with the small arms, our vegetarian tree-hugging hippie stepped up to ramp it up.
One of my all-time favorite moments on MythBusters was shooting a Gatling gun to mow down a tree.
Okay, we're going hot.
I had never shot anything this crazy before.
In 3, 2, 1.
We're talking 30 caliber bullets, 3,000 rounds per minute. Just
Where do you want to start?
Well, as much as I'd love to just build a big old slide and slide down it, something tells me that that might be dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we should start here in the shop and do a kind of proof of concept.
To see whether we think we can get that kind of distance and precision.
Exactly. Let's start with a small slide, a small slider, run it through some paces and see what we get.
Without putting our bodies on the line.
Yet.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope to the truth, so they're starting with a proof of concept, and here's what they're looking for.
Doing a scale water slide experiment is a bit of a problem because gravity doesn't scale. But it's no big deal because I only need our little dummy to land in about the same spot over and over again, because if he doesn't, he's toast. Secondly, based on our video, to scale, I need him to travel about 16 feet.
16 feet is the approximate X marks the spot for the kiddie pool.
Mind if I take a quick look how he slides?
Not at all. Knock yourself out. If we get those things, then this might actually be doable. Not half bad.
But not close to leaping off of that and going 15 times his own height.
No water.
Yep, this is about to get a lot more slippery when wet. The blue-colored water helps the guys ensure that the whole slide is lubricated. And then Stunt Adam takes his first slip.
Slip and slide, scale test. 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
That's awesome. He left a little blue stain, nicely marking where he landed.
9 feet 8 inches.
9 feet is hardly the 16 feet Jamie was looking for, but the guys have a slippery trick to try.
You want to try it again, but throw a little dish soap in that water?
Sounds like a good idea. I'll be right back.
Using soapy water to further lubricate the slide will reduce the friction on the stuntman,
Oh, yeah.
helping him to accelerate and hopefully fly further.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Boom!
Sure enough, the soap surfactants made Mini Adam go the distance. But what about accuracy?
Here we go. Looking for the same spot. When I look at this rig, I think he's not going to hit the same target every time. But that's not going to stop us from trying. Is it, little dude? Oh, I'd rather be done. No, you got a few more slides. Okay, here we go. I'm not getting tired of that.
It's not tiresome, but neither is it accurate. So Jamie's got a plan.
I'm wondering about fixing him so he's in this position.
Yeah.
Binding the arms and legs should streamline Mini Adam and help him to land in the same place twice. But before he flies, the slide needs another spritz of soapy water.
I figure we should use something like this for the full-size ramp, but larger, like one of those handheld weed sprayers.
I can't see it putting out anywhere near enough liquid.
I think it will.
If you want to bring it, that's fine. But I swear, if we end up using it to cover the ramp, I'll pay you $100.
All right, then.
The gentleman's wager stands. So the tiny slider is tossed down the slide.
Zumba!
Again and again.
Woohoo! Boom!
That actually was pretty close to the last one.
It was.
And he even landed feet first again.
Both times?
Yep.
Nice.
And soon enough, a pattern starts to emerge. The more they send streamlined Adam down the slide,
Getting pretty much in the same area.
Go ahead and mark it again. I'm getting kind of excited.
the more predictable his landings become.
You know, Jamie, after all the weird crap we've rigged for commercials, I totally did not expect it to get so consistent.
Yep, I got 3 in a row here within an inch of each other.
Nice.
Let's look at how our criteria stacks up. The first thing is that we need our little dummy to land in exactly the same spot, and all these landings are within a few inches. That works. Secondly, to match the video, we need him to come to about 16 feet. And we got landings between 13 and 19 feet, so this might actually work.